Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really locked in on the end of that NBA playoff series, the Denver Nuggets against the LA Clippers.
Yeah, quite the finish.
Absolutely. The final buzzer's gone, and, well, the Nuggets took it.
Yeah.
Game 7, pretty commanding win, too, 120-101. They're moving on.
Right. And this wasn't just, ticking off another win. Looking at the sources, it's clear this was a really decisive performance.
That's so.
It really showed off their strategic thinking, their depth, and just mental toughness when everything was on the line. We should definitely dig into what got them this win.
Okay, let's do that. Game 7. It's always high pressure. And, yeah, our sources seem to say the Nuggets basically put on a clinic. But what made it feel so complete beyond just the score?
Well, what's really interesting when you look closely is how their plan and their execution just clicked. It wasn't just star players going off, although, yeah, there was definitely some of that. But the analysis suggests it was more like a total team thing.
Yeah.
Strategic calls, both offense and defense, they just stuck the landing, especially when the Clippers tried to make a push.
That kind of control in a Game 7.
Exactly. That's what really makes a contender stand out,
Totally. And leading that was Nikola Jokić.
Yeah.
I mean, the stats are wild. 35 points, 15 boards, 10 assists, a triple-double.
Monster numbers.
But the numbers don't tell the whole story. How did he, run the show, according to what we've seen?
The sources paint him as, the absolute engine of the offense. He scores inside. He can step out, even hit threes. That forces defenses into awkward spots.
Right. Pulls the bigs out.
Exactly. But then there's the passing. It's just
Yeah.
next level,
Yeah.
finding guys cutting, open shooters,
Yeah.
making passes that look, almost impossible sometimes. So he's either scoring or creating, and that constant threat just kept the Clippers' defense completely off balance. They couldn't settle.
Makes sense. And then you got Jamal Murray, 28 points, and it felt like they were all crucial points. Like, every time LA made a little run.
He had an answer. Yeah, the sources really highlight the timing of his scoring.
Yeah.
Just when the Clippers maybe got a couple of stops, started feeling some momentum, boom, Murray hits a tough, contested shot or gets to the rim.
Deflating for the other side.
Totally. It didn't just add points. It was like a mental blow, It stopped any real Clippers comeback cold. Shows how much he's grown, really.
Okay, so incredible individual stuff there. But strategy-wise, the sources mention key Nuggets moves. Let's talk defense first. How do they handle Kawhi and PG?
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting tactically. What we've gathered suggests they didn't just stick to one thing. They mixed it up.
Smart.
Yeah, they threw different looks at them, sometimes straight man-to-man, trying to deny the ball, force tough ISO plays. But then they'd switch into zone looks, kind of packing the paint, making those drives harder. And they weren't afraid to double team, especially late in the clock or in key moments.
Forcing others to beat them.
Pretty much. Make them give it up, rely on teammates. And for the Clippers in this game, that didn't always work out so well. Led to some tough shots, turnovers.
Okay, and offensively, it wasn't just the Jokić and Murray show, right?
Yeah.
Sources mentioned the supporting guys playing big roles.
Oh, absolutely critical. If you connect the dots for their offensive efficiency, guys like Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, they were vital.
How so?
Well, Porter Jr., he's always a shooting threat, right? So defenders have to stick close to him out on the perimeter. That creates space, the floor spacing everyone talks about.
Opens up lanes.
Exactly. For Jokić to operate, for Murray to drive. And Gordon, his defensive versatility was huge. He could switch onto different guys, guard multiple positions. That gave them stability. It was really well put together, a real team thing.
Right. Now let's flip the script. The Clippers,
Yeah.
all that star power, but they seem to, stumble in Game 7. What weaknesses did the sources pinpoint?
Yeah, the analysis points to a real problem with consistency and maybe cohesion, like finding a steady offensive rhythm as a team.
Even with Leonard and George.
Yeah, individually, they're amazing, obviously. But sometimes it looked a bit disconnected, like not quite on the same page, resulting in some messy possessions. And the sources also mention things like uncharacteristic turnovers at bad times, missing open shots they'd usually make. Maybe the Game 7 pressure just tightened things up a bit. I kind of felt that way.
And the bench comparison.
Yeah.
Sounds like that was a big factor, too.
That's a huge point, yeah. It really stands out in the info we have. The Nuggets got real, tangible contributions from their role players. Timely baskets, good defense, hustle plays.
Call it minute.
Exactly. Whereas the Clippers bench just didn't deliver that same punch, that difference in depth. It really highlighted the Nuggets' advantage there, especially in a tough, grinding Game 7.
Okay, so the Nuggets pull off this huge win. What does that do for them, mentally going forward? momentum, confidence.
Oh, the sources suggest it's a massive psychological boost. Beating a team that talented, the Clippers, in a do-or-die Game 7 on their floor, that sends a message.
Yeah, to the league, but also to themselves, right?
Absolutely. It proves, that they can handle that intense pressure. They can beat elite teams. That kind of belief is just invaluable when you're chasing a championship.
And looking ahead, thinking strategically,
Yeah.
what lessons from this series can they really use against their next opponent?
Well, the big things are probably their adaptability on defense, showing they can adjust to different styles and maintaining that offensive execution even when things get tough.
Sticking to the plan?
Right. And having Jokić and Murray playing at this level, plus getting reliable backup from the others, it really solidifies them as a team that, can hurt you in a lot of different ways. That versatility is going to be key.
So wrapping it up,
Hmm.
this Nuggets Game 7 win, it wasn't just about one player or one quarter. It was like a blueprint of strategic planning, individual stars shining within the team concept, and just executing when it mattered most. All things the sources really emphasize.
Exactly right. And moving forward, you have to think the lessons they learned here, the confidence they gained, like our analysis suggests, that's going to be huge for them. It definitely helps their chances as they keep pushing deeper into the playoffs.
All right, so for you listening, here's something to think about. Looking at how differently Game 7 played out for both teams, what single strategic adjustment, just maybe something Denver did or something LA didn't do you think had the biggest impact on that final score? And what does that specific thing tell us about, the razor-thin margins in high-stakes playoff basketball? Lots to consider there. Thanks for diving deep with us.